You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by iCCupTV, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment.
Hello and welcome back everyone to round 16 of the Global Gamers Invitational. This is going to be game 2 between the players KiwiKaKi and oGs, and it is going to be a P vs Z on Lost Temple. As we saw in the first game, Kiwi was able to make great early use of teching and was able to get all the way up to 3-3 armor and weapons by the end of the match, and he pretty much had a large stalker force moving around in Metalopolis. And oGs was not able to spread creep around effectively and fast enough, so in turn he was pretty much just able to outmaneuver the Zerg army for most of the match. So let's see what's going to happen today. Is Kiwi going to be able to win uncontested this round, or is oGs going to come back, and are we going to see a third game coming by? Only time will tell. And we see that a probe is moving around here right now, and a probe is also scouting the outsides of the space here to see if there's an overlord. So he is using two probes right now, pretty much to try and spot where the Zerg player is. By now he must realize that the Zerg player is probably over here, unless that overlord was able to get into a safe position fast enough. And we know that there's pylon placement right here, and we saw last game that Kiwi also built outside of his base. This is something fairly common that we've been seeing recently, because you are actually able to secure your natural much better if you build the pylon out here and then build your gateway and then build your Cybernex core and whatever you want out here, so you can build a nice little base defense where you funnel around the Zerg player and also just secure the spot with ease. And so now Kiwi has found where oGs is, so he has no question on his mind what's going to be happening right now. There is going to be a fast expansion coming up after the spawning pool. It just seems pretty reasonable. So he is keeping this probe out here, and this overlord is spotting where the probe is right now. So we'll see how oGs deals with this right now. He is actually deciding to get the pull first. So oGs going for a little bit of more slow scouting on this map, using the overlords instead of a drone. He has just sent out his drone right now, and I believe he sent it out at around 19 or 18 supply, so very late scout. But now he sees what's going on. He sees a double gateway is approaching, and this drone is picking away at this pylon right now. So how is oGs going to be responding to this? He is creating a queen, he is creating some zealots, and he is laying down the hatcher right now too. So he is actually going to take a little bit of a gamble here. He is going to try to defend against this double gate. He is going to take advantage of the long rush distance and still go for the fast hatchery. KiwiKaKi is also getting these zealots right now. He is not chrono boosting them out. I don't think he is actually going to go for a push. Instead, I think he is just trying to force a Zerg player to mobilize heavily on the ground. But at the same time, what Kiwi is giving up is that he is just letting oGs expand. I think he has pretty much realized that that's going to happen anyway, so he is not going to go for the push just yet. And looking at what Kiwi is doing, he is throwing down that forge again, so he is sticking with his old tactics from the previous games. And this is what I'm talking about, a very nice little choke right here, just wide enough for a stalker to get through, and just fat enough for, or just wide enough for a fat zealot to sit in here. And so he's going to be chrono boosting out those upgrades as we saw last game. This hatchery is almost done. This queen is trucking away, making his way down to this spot right here, putting down that creep tumor right now. If oGs does not want to have a repeat of last game, he is going to want to be spreading that creep because he doesn't want to get harassed. On Lost Temple, one thing that oGs is going to have to worry about especially is bringing up High Templar here, or Stalkers, because one storm can just eat away at an entire saturated economy if you're not looking at your mineral line fast enough. So here comes the Spine Crawlers. oGs is going to be putting down some base defense just in case these zealots decide to move out, but it's also nice to have a spine here for later so that the Protoss player can't just whittle around and dance in your base. So we probably will see a wall of spines eventually. oGs isn't throwing them down anytime soon because why should he? The Protoss player is just pretty much sitting at his base right now. So as we saw in the previous game, Kiwi is going for the Nexus. He is going to be a little bit behind in the economic game, but the Nexus is up, so he's going to have it soon. He can double saturate from his first Nexus and chrono boost some stuff out. And Kiwi actually getting a late gas, so I think we're going to see pretty heavy Zealot play, and he's going to be using most of his tech to get these upgrades out. As we see, he only has 52 gas, so we're not going to see any kind of Colossus or High Templar play anytime soon, but he is still pumping these Zealots out. So what we actually might see from Kiwi is just a massive Zealot push. That would be a little bit unconventional to see. You know, usually you'll go 4-gate or something with a tech, but looks like Kiwi is just going vanilla Zealots right now, and he is charging on that watchtower, and of course the Zerglings are scurrying back to their base right now, going back to the other Xel'Naga watchtower, but the Zealots are not letting up. They are approaching on this position. Already, Psyblades have been upgraded, so he has that extra damage, and the Zerglings are retreating right now. How is oGs going to respond to this? Is he throwing down some more spines? One spine is being thrown down, but is this enough for him to deal with all of these Zealots coming out right now? I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I think that Queen will turn the tide, and if that Spine Crawler does come up, oGs will definitely be okay if he will be able to micro around this Zealot force well enough. But I think he's going to be able to. Kiwi is going to need some more Zealots if he wants to push head on in this position right here. And we see that oGs is pumping out tons of Zerglings right now, and 2 sentries are coming out for oGs, as well as Warp Gate technology. Hydrogen coming out for oGs, so we are going to see immediately some Hydras. He's not going straight for Roaches right now, although against that amount of Zealots, Roaches might not be a bad call, but actually, we see a Nidus network right here. oGs is looking for some fast-paced harassment here. He is keeping this sneaky little Overlord out by this cliff, so it looks like that oGs is looking to get into the base right here. And here are the Zealots marching into this position. Tons of Zerglings are going down, a lot of weak Zealots, and Kiwi is moving into this base. He is not going straight for those spines. A wise move. He is going to be trying to pick off some of those Zerglings as much as he can, but there are only 4 Zealots right now. I think oGs will be able to deal with this, but he's still going to be losing almost all of his Zerglings right here, and maybe even a Queen. The Queen should live if he can micro him around well enough. Kiwi should be going for those drones. That's exactly what he's doing, and here come the rest of the Zerglings, and Kiwi Zealots are going down right now. So what this did for Kiwi was that he saw the Nidus network, he saw the Hydralisk Den, so he was able to use those Zealots not only as a little strike force into his base, but also as a scouting measure. So we see right now that the Nidus network is still going to be placed regardless of what Kiwi has just seen. That is a great spot for the Nidus Worm. It is going to be so difficult for Kiwi to get up on this position. He doesn't have any observers. He doesn't have blink. He is not really going to be able to do anything. These Hydralisks just have free reign right now. If we take a look at what Kiwi can see, he cannot touch these Hydralisks at all. They're pretty much immune on this ledge right now. And oGs is like, look at this. I have got you right here, man. Taking out your simulator, taking out the Forge too. So what's kind of been Kiwi's strong gameplay in the last game and this game too was he was trying to get those fast upgrades, and it looks like oGs has effectively denied him, at least for a little bit, that upgrade. So here comes the robotics facility. He is going to be getting some observers right now because he needs to keep up on the economic game, and the hatchery is being placed in the high yield. Those rocks are down. Zergling and Hydralisk Force are being constructed at the moment, and Stalker's taking out that Overlord just in case the Nidus Worm decides to pop up another head over